It's pleasure and anticipation that I extend my heartfelt invitation to all of you to the 20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary, commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
Well, you're watching Edu Channel on YouTube. We are here on the final day of Kepsha 20th Conference, Kenya Education, or rather Kenya Primary Head Teachers Association Conference and AGM. And of course, we are marking the 20th anniversary. Congratulations. The theme of this Kepsha 20th anniversary is Rethinking Management in a Comprehensive School Framework. And I have a teacher here to talk about especially the experiences of junior secondary school, which marks the first year of implementation of the junior secondary school in this country. We have a teacher from Machakos. You can introduce yourself. And
thank you.
Yes.
My name is John. John is from Machakos County, specifically Kalama Sub-County. I'm a head teacher. Yeah.
Wonderful. Welcome. Now let's talk about Kepsha. Generally, this is the 20th year, which marks this AGM and conference, a very special one in the lives of especially head teachers. What are the highlights that have actually touched your heart during this 4-day conference?
Thank you. I must say, to start with, Kepsha was whoever came up with the idea of Kepsha came up with a very good idea. It's a unifying factor. There before, although I was not a head teacher by that time,
Yes.
we were so divided, we were so scattered. I remember it started with the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association, and then we borrowed a leaf and we came up with Kepsha. So Kepsha is a very, very important organ in the management of schools. It's a forum whereby we can now read from the same script. The 4 days have been wonderful. Besides having some relaxation, it has been really a learning moment.
Yes.
I've been able to follow the proceedings, kila speaker, and I can say Kepsha has done good because so many things have been said, and we've interacted and shared and gave our opinion. So it has been a wonderful conference.
So CBC is here with us. So far we've been doing very well despite the teething problems that we've experienced. As we all know, everything that comes the first time has to experience that.
Sure.
And so far we've managed to reach grade 7. The transition between grade 6 and grade 7 in your school, how was the transition? Especially, how was the experience in your school?
Yeah, we had We had our learners from grade 6. They did a summative assessment.
Yes.
The transition was seamless. In fact, it was shifting from this room to the next room, and that's how we came up. We came to have grade 7. Of course, we were joined by learners from neighboring schools. Not all schools were given a JSS class. In some of the number grew because of absorbing those learners from the neighboring schools that do not have a JSS class. In fact, I can say now it's the biggest class in my school at 40.
JSS.
JSS. We used to be 26, but then we were joined by learners from those other neighboring schools.
Wonderful. So how have you managed with an increase of population in JSS especially?
In my case, it hasn't been very challenging because at 40 is still a manageable number. Actually, it's a single stream.
Yes.
And even the teachers that we've received, it's kind of been enough. We have 3 teachers for JSS.
3 teachers.
3 teachers.
I think that's the highest number so far.
Yeah, so far.
From the numbers.
Yeah. And the only challenge is that out of the 3 teachers, we have so many learning areas. So many learning areas. Let me call them subjects for in a layman's language.
Yes. Thank you.
You may find that although there are 3, there are some areas they cannot handle. Like in my case, I remember totally tulikosa mwalimu wa home science, and there are learners who are interested in home science.
Home science. Yeah. That has been a teething problem, not just you.
Yeah. So I had to go back to the primary school.
Yes.
And I told them, no. We have learners who have interest in home science here, as opposed to computer. We were choosing either of the 2. I had to get a teacher from the primary school who did home science, of course, at certain level, and that's how they started learning home science. Although it was late, it was a bit late.
Yes.
But the teacher actually managed to cover something.
Yes. Wonderful. I think that was a good maneuvering of the situation at hand. Now let's talk about the theme of Kepsha 20th anniversary here in Mombasa. Rethinking management in a comprehensive school framework. So as a manager, you're a teacher, head teacher, you're basically a manager. What do you think we should consider when it comes to managing a comprehensive school?
For one thing,
yes.
Let me be sincere.
Yes.
I was sharing with some colleagues here. They were telling me, Bakiwa, I'm the Kepsha chairman, Kalama sub-county. So they were telling me, mkubwa chairman, unajua nimeshindwa what to write on my school signboard. Is it a comprehensive school, a uni comprehensive school? Or is it a uni junior and
secondary school?
Primary and junior secondary school. So the whole concept of comprehensive school must also be addressed, and we make everybody aware what is a comprehensive school.
And we very well know that it is a combination of pre-primary, and junior secondary.
Because even as we talk now,
yes,
we've not been told whether the pre-primary schools have been withdrawn from the county government. They're still under management of the county government. They employ the teachers and all that. So there are so many things that we need to know as teachers. What is your mandate? Of course, you are the manager, but kuna hizo finer details sasa. Kama hiyo mambo, what will be the relationship between you and the county government? Sometimes you see the county government just coming and giving instruction to their teachers, and you're just watching. What would be the boundary? So I can say we are prepared for anything. And
so you mentioned the relationship between county governments and the head teachers especially.
Yeah.
And that's minimal issue of the comprehensive school, whether it should be called this and that, and the awareness of the comprehensive school. Are there other key areas that probably I'm interested to find out from you that should be addressed in that theme?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
I'm
think,
sure
there's the issue of, you know, how this thing came.
Yes.
The issue of junior secondary school.
Yes.
How it came.
Yes.
The information that you shared,
Yes.
that was given to us,
Yes.
was shared to us,
Yes.
iliingia kwa akili.
Yes.
Because I remember us being told in
Yes.
so many workshops that we attended, this will be an independent school with its own, even we were told those teachers will have their own staff room. Those learners are supposed to have their own school uniform. Everything is supposed to be independent. And I can say that still has not, haijatoka kwa akili ya watu wengi sana.
So now they are going to amalgamate it.
Yeah.
It is no longer independent.
It's no longer independent
But
now.
now combine it.
Then we have these other issues that are coming up.
Yes.
And I want whoever is concerned to clear the air. Because even as we talk now, there are schools, and I can say most of the schools, you don't know whether junior secondary school learners next year, those will be joining grade 7, should they come in a new school uniform, in a different school uniform, or should they continue with the uniform ambayo walikuwa nayo kwa primary school?
That's a confusion.
Yeah. So we shouldn't be told whether the reforms are still being implemented.
Yes.
Na kama zinaimplementiwa basi tuambiwe, tusije tukafanya shule, kila shule inafanya vyake. Mimi nimeambia watoto wanunue uniform mpya, huyu hajawaambia. Yeah, so there are so many things that need to be made clear actually.
In fact, and you only have
we have a month,
and 1 week,
yeah,
almost,
exactly.
or 2 weeks.
And don't forget, those learners are at home. And
Wonderful.
to reach them and give these new guidelines is not an easy thing. Yeah, unless we say, of course, tuwapatie muda, tukifungua to report, as they report, we give them some time to prepare, because watakutana na hayo mahitaji. Labda uambiwe wakuwe na uniform mpya. Sasa JSS, the current JSS has a different school uniform.
Yes, we all know
Well,
that.
we don't know whether to adopt hiyo
Or to revert back to...
na kama tuta revert back our current school, junior school, sijui wafanye nini. Anyway.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Any parting shot, any final message to the government and to all the learners who are actually watching Edu channel on YouTube?
Yeah. Let me say, we as Kepsha, we as teachers, we are ready for CBC. And I want to urge,
Yes.
I want to urge the young men and women, those who are recruited to teach in junior secondary school, the attitude they have, my plea. They had so high hopes of working in a senior secondary school. And working in a junior school, which is domiciled in a primary school, they feel cheated. They feel downgraded. That walipelekwa where they don't deserve. And you see, yeah, they are qualified, they have degrees, they're working with P1 teachers, although many of the primary schools have degrees also. But there's that feeling of, this is not the right place, this is not where we belong. My daughters, my sons, mtoto ni mtoto, awe anasomea wapi, chini ya mti. Let us embrace, let us change our attitude.
Yes.
And we teach the children. Yeah, without regarding where we are working from.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is servant leadership and embracing the way things are,
Yeah.
to make sure that JSS continues smoothly. You've been watching Edu channel. I've been having a very candid conversation with a teacher from Machakos County. And of course, we've heard very good recommendations coming from him. And continue watching Edu channel. I am Zachary Kago.
Thank you for the time.
Karibu.
Asante.
Asante.
Ashukuru.
Yes.
Yeah.
To our esteemed delegates, on behalf of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with immense pleasure and anticipation that I extend my heartfelt invitation to all of you to the 20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
To our esteemed delegates, on behalf of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with immense pleasure and anticipation that I extend my heartfelt invitation to all of you to the 20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
Are here at Sheikh Zayed Children's Welfare Center, Mombasa, for the 20th anniversary of Kepsha AGM and Conference, Kenya Primary School Head Teachers Association. And of course, I have here a teacher, again from Machakos, to talk to us about mostly the transition between the old system to the new system and how his experience has been. And of course, that combines also with the current JSS cohort. Karibu mwalimu.
Asante.
Yes, your name, sir. Introduce yourself.
My name's Jackson Zioki from Komboni Primary School in Kalama Sub-County, Machakos County.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So you've told me that you've enjoyed Kepsha.
I've enjoyed very much.
You are here from the first day?
That's from Monday. I'm still here today.
What are the highlights that really touched your heart from the Kepsha deliberations?
The first thing was that I was very happy and overwhelmed when I was told that, okay, you continue heading the comprehensive school for another 1 year. because I came to know that, okay, with that I'll be able to exercise all the experience that I've acquired since I started teaching. Yeah.
And the capitation is going to be increased. That must be making you very happy.
With the capitation comes with the, what I may say, some bit of experience that you need to be.
From the old system to CBC, how has the experience been, especially the transition?
Yeah, with the transition, I had the experience of CBC from a different area. Because one time I visited United Kingdom in 2016, and a certain friend of mine whom we have been interacting in different capacities, told me that one time Kenya will have a different system that will look like the UK system, whereby things will be more practical than they have been in the 844 system. Let me come back to the school. In the school, I had a few aged teachers who are about to retire, who are very rigid into the way they will be teaching the students in class, because they thought that it is always important to be in front of the teacher, teaching, dictating and all that, and looking for marks from the children. But with this new system, it was different from them. So we had to take a lot of time to keep on talking to them, calling one-on-one, having small teams, so that we'll be able to put this into action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, CBC, your opinion of CBC. Do you think it is the most ideal education system that this country has actually embraced?
It is exactly the most ideal.
What makes it most ideal?
Because there's something that I've noticed. For that period, I've had those young boys and girls from PP1
Yes.
to grade 7. There are some young boys and girls who were not able to write, who would not even read. But when CBC was introduced, you could see that they had some strengths in other areas, like physical education. Others were very good in practical things, like in home science. They could cook very well. And just recently, we had a competition from the inclusive learning program, which our school is running from the beginning of the year. And they were to do some drawings on inclusive learning, inclusivity of all learners in the school. I noticed that some of the boys were very good in art, in drawing, and they could not do anything in mathematics, in English, but that one was something very good. Which means that with the CBC, the children or the pupils are able to move with their area of
interest,
specialization and area of interest,
Yes.
which is now
Subjects more than scientific ones.
I can say no, because in every subject we have integrated nearly all the learning areas in that subject, and everything has become very interesting. Learned that when I was in UK for 2 weeks, that teaching would help us very much. And with that, we've been able to note that it's somehow balanced. No more, not much art, not much sciences. It's balanced. Yeah.
Improving educational reforms in this country.
Yeah, Mine is to request the government to make sure that they disburse funds on time, so that what we want implemented can be done on time. And again, maybe they can also increase, because especially with the labs and the space that we're lacking, we are lacking rooms. We are also lacking some materials like the lab materials, and with the little amount that we have, we cannot be able to do that. So they can disburse nearly equal amounts, which are for the basics in every school, so that they can be able to meet the needs. And again, with the teachers, we could request those who have been able to do well in primary school, they can also be deployed in junior secondary school, so that they can help, because they have the experience. They've been teaching from grade 1 to grade 6, and also they are the same ones we were using before we had teachers posted to the schools. And again, we would request the government to train. They do prior training of teachers who are coming from the universities, so that we don't spend a lot of time going for retooling. That time could have been spent in teaching the students, because we are about 2 terms behind, because of that period that was wasted before knowing who would be doing what. And the last thing is that we make it a comprehensive school now, very official, and one head teacher in the primary school, so that the management can be much easier.
And we are talking about retooling teachers, especially graduates, during this holiday, because it's a big one. That's what you are proposing also. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bwananzioki.
Thank you too.
Yes, you've heard some of the recommendations that Bwananzioki has actually shared. And we'd like you to continue watching Edu Channel for this and many more other interviews and other programs. I am Zachary Kago.
Thank you very much.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done?
Done.
Okay.
Bwananz.
St. Monica is waiting.
Of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with immense pleasure and anticipation that I extend my heartfelt invitation to all of you to the 20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary, commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
To our esteemed delegates, on behalf of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with immense pleasure and
we are here at Kepsha 20th, here at Sheikh Zayed Welfare Center, Mombasa, for the Kepsha AGM and Conference 20th anniversary. And the theme here is actually Rethinking Management in a Comprehensive School Framework. And as you can see, I have a beautiful lady from one of the regions in the country, a head teacher who will actually introduce herself and tell us where she comes from.
Thank you very much, Bwana Zachary. My name is Daisy Geraldine from St. Monica, Kitengela. It's a private school which is in Kajiado County. Yeah, so I'm really happy to be here for having been given the opportunity to come for the conference, bearing in mind that you're in a private institution, a church institution for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think this is the first time I've talked to a private school head teacher. And normally you can tell us the ideal situation in your school when it comes to implementation of CBC. So how has the experience been implementing CBC in private schools?
The experience has been, I can say, mixed. Good. Learning areas that were not there before. For instance, we have the pre-technical and pre-career, which has never been taught, and there is no such combination even in campus. Mm-hmm. But we had to sit down and agree that we have to face this animal. We have to treat this subject because it is there and no one has experience about it, but we shall handle it. I can say that we are proud because as an institution with out of the 7 optional subjects, we are offering 6. The only optional subject that we are not offering is indigenous language. So we had that capacity and we were able to get enough staff to handle all the subjects. Mm-hmm. And I can say that we are happy. The learners were excited, of course. With the transition, change of everything, new uniform, new staff in the same compound was really exciting. And at some point, as the class 8 were still in the same compound, but they felt a bit superior. Now that because in primary the boys are putting on shorts and then they are putting on trousers, they felt it's like they're the most superior people in the compound, students in the compound. But I can say at some point, we had to just to talk to them one-on-one, bit by bit, and eventually they realized the class 8s are our seniors. I can say again, as a school, we do not have very major challenges because because like books, we buy directly from the publisher. Thanks be to we are a church institution, Catholic sponsored school. So through the diocese, we are able to purchase books in bulky from the publishers. So by the time they were opening schools, the books were already in school. So it was just a matter of issuing the books, and then we kicked off the classes, and the lessons were excellent. And I can say we are a happy lot. And one thing that I can say is that I am very happy to implement CBC curriculum. 844 was a bit hectic because it's results oriented and you have to have sleepless nights thinking about how to teach these people, what to do about this. And also I can say in terms of parental empowerment and engagement, we've been able to bring the parents close to the children or to us. Because initially the parents were not there. They would just dump the children to the teachers.
Yes.
And they know that the teachers will handle everything. But to the CBC and the parental engagement, they don't have a choice. They have to be there for their children. As much as I know, most of them were not in my school, but even I've heard from elsewhere that they feel we are burdening them because they've paid fees, they've provided the learning material, so they feel we don't need to be disturbed.
What is your perception of that parental engagement that is a new thing in CBC?
I would say it is excellent because number one, from my observation, I think it has brought many families together.
Oh.
Yeah, because if I'm a man and I was coming to the house past midnight, and I know that my son or my daughter needs 1, 2, 3 or needs to be guided in a certain area, I have to be home early. And as a result, you see the parents are even able to interact with their children, something that might have not been there with 844. So it has really worked. It has really worked. But the challenge that we had from the beginning on the same was, being a new curriculum, teachers were not sure what they want from the parents, and they will just ambush them. Tomorrow we want this, the day after we want this. But after sitting down and agreeing that we need to prepare the requirements, after going through the curriculum designs, then of course you know what is required of the parents. So you prepare in advance so that if you notify parents 2 weeks or 1 month before, then they're able to know we are supposed to provide this, and we don't have issues with provision of learning materials.
But some of these locally made materials, do you usually have them in school instead of just all the time talking to the parents? Do you actually formulate some in school?
What we do, our school is in town.
Yes.
It's in town. You might not find everything in school. So we request some to be brought. Of course, not to buy, because of the aspect of improvisation.
Yes.
And innovation.
Yes.
So we request the parents to provide, but
Yes.
this time we encourage. Of course, we even when we are assessing, we award better and more marks to the one who goes out of their way to improvise, rather than the one who just go to a shop and buy and bring it to the teacher.
Yes.
And of course, that shows that this parent is not. It feels like they are tired of us and whatever we are asking them. But I can say, yeah, I can say.
When I see a call from a teacher, I'm like, money. This is more money.
Yeah.
This is money. She's asking for money.
Yeah, sure, definitely. But I can say probably when we approach in that perspective, it means that this parent might not be understanding what CBC wants. But at the beginning, we had to engage parents in several meetings just to notify them what we need,
Yes.
what is required of CBC. Because initially, if you start from a vacuum, definitely they might not understand
Yes.
what is required of them. But I want to believe, because we are mature enough now in CBC, having grade 7, which are proceeding to grade 8, it's a great achievement. And all those around 5 years from 2017, it's quite, a long time, around 5 to 6 years.
So let me ask you, before you go to grade 7 and the issues surrounding it, have you noticed a difference between an 844 and a CBC child?
Yes.
And in what sense?
Yes. One thing that I've observed is that in terms of tension, with the 844, everything, the pupils work under pressure for performance. But with CBC, children are relaxed. Actually, now speaking from a real life situation, we usually have student leadership in our school, and these students feel, for grade 7, they feel free to come and tell you, madam, I think we can do this, we can do that. And like when you see a grade 8, a class 8 pupil probably walking around, you tell them you're supposed to be reading. So you can see that the pressure for performance, both from the school and from the parents. And at some time, they're just fatigued. But with CBC, they are more relaxed because, of course, they learn by doing. The manipulation, through the improvisation you are talking about, these children have to go out of their way, interact with the environment. So, and of course, anything that makes children work outside classroom, they feel very okay and very happy.
And you've been doing that a lot.
Definitely. We don't have a choice. Yeah.
But that's the best way, really.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it takes half percentage of the whole scoring marks, the practicability. Is it half or 40% or 60%?
I can say 60%.
60%.
It's more practical than You know, with the 844 we were teachers. Now we are no longer teachers, we are facilitators of
Wonderful.
learning.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the theme, comprehensive, retooling or rethinking of a comprehensive school, management of a comprehensive school. What do you think we should be considering when it comes to talking about this theme of managing a comprehensive school?
In terms of?
There are so many things. There's the HR, there's human resource. I don't want to talk about finances. Finances, we all need finances.
Of course.
But let's focus on maybe dealing with the psychology part of it, the human resource basically. What do you think we should consider?
I think number one consideration should be competence and qualifications in terms of academic. You know, when we talk about comprehensive school from PP1 all the way to grade 7 to grade 9, having interacted with this curriculum, number one, on as a teacher, you realize that there are some aspects that need more qualification than others. And I want to believe that is what informed the government to send undergraduate to teach the junior school. It is no longer junior secondary, junior school, because they felt the content that is there in grade 7 or probably grade 7 to grade 9 is a bit complex as compared to the middle school or even the earlier section.
Definitely.
But it is also because the teachers have been retooled to teach CBC. You know, CBC was a whole new curriculum, and I would wish to state that I think any teacher, and especially the teachers who are handling class 8, 7 and 8, the 8441, are very capable of handling even CBC, the junior school.
Okay.
They are capable as long as they are given proper guidance and they are willing, of course. You know, they could be handling and they are not willing. If they are willing, they'll be able to handle it. In terms of HR, I might say that it is not a must that we have a HR, because having the head is able to, as long as you're able to manage the human resource that you have from PP1 all the way to grade 9, we might not even need a HR.
So can you confidently say that CBC is the ideal education system in this country?
Excellent.
Because of?
Excellent. Number one,
Yes.
at least the obvious one, that we are getting out of the exam and the pressure of having exams every other time. And number two, at least the learners are able to execute their strengths in various aspects. Unlike when we were just teaching directly, it's a content that you're offering that they are supposed to exhibit when it comes to an exam. And at the same time, it is the ideal thing to do, because at least by the end of the day, we shall have people now, like whatever you're saying now, we have so many people who run away from TVETs and other vocational trainings.
Now it's going to be quite famous.
It's going to be famous because we need learners to be hands-on, and they're able to do or perform various tasks by themselves. And this one can only be guided by CBC.
Yes.
From where I'm seated and from my institution, one of the optional subjects we're offering is Kenya Sign Language. And the integration of the Kenya Sign Language in our institution has helped much. It's a church institution. We usually have the deaf community. So these learners are even interpreting in the church.
How is that subject actually being caught by learners? Are they really interested in Kenya Sign Language?
They are
which
very
I
much.
think is a very important
They are
course.
very much interested. Very much.
So how many
interested.
people have actually undertaken that KSL?
We have 16.
16.
Yes.
16 is a good number.
It's a good number for a start.
Yes.
And I know even this coming year we might be having more. You know, it was the beginning. So I want to believe this coming year there'll be more.
Even personally, I want to do that KSL.
Please come.
Not in your school, of course.
You can
at
come.
my age, I can go to.
We cannot
Kenya.
teach you at that particular.
Yes.
I mean, with the students. But now that we have the right personnel,
Yes.
we can even teach you outside the classroom.
Ah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Talk about marketing. That's why you're a private sector.
Yeah.
Well, nurturing every learner's potential is the key thing that we want to bring out in CBC, and one of the teachers here from a private school has really brought that out very, very well. Thank you so much, Mwalimu,
You're most
for gracing us with your presence. It's been wonderful, especially talking about special needs talking about perspective from the private school. I'm Zachary Kago. Keep watching Edu Channel TV. For the Kepsha conference, 20th anniversary of Kenya Primary School Head Teachers Association. It is both a conference and an AGM marking 20th birthday of this association. And right now we're talking about rethinking management in a comprehensive school framework. And with me is a head teacher who will introduce herself and tell us where she's coming from. Karibu mwalimu.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
My name is Mwanamkuu Alishe. Like he has said, I'm a head teacher, Mombasa County, Nyali Sub-County, a school by the name Azhar Sharif Primary School.
Azhar Sharif
Yes.
Primary School.
Yes.
Let's talk about the highlights that have really caught your attention in this Kepsha conference. Today is actually the fourth day. So far, what has caught your attention?
Everything in general, everything. This is my first time attending the conference, but I've learned a lot. I've never missed a day. The facilitators are good. The organizers have done a great job. Everything in general was okay, very much okay. Me being a leader, I've been empowered a lot. I've learned a lot, and from the conference, I'm a changed person for real in terms of everything. My thinking as a leader, the way I'll be doing my management as a leader, everything in general has an impact in my life, and it will change the management in my school as well.
So what really caught your attention during the conference? Anything to do with management? What did you learn in the management of a comprehensive school, or any other speech that really caught your attention?
The speech from the CS, he said that we are equally to the task, and he's impressed the way we have handled the GSS smoothly without any tension, meaning that he has full trust in us, and we can manage GSS with ease, because we have all the ability to do so. And one thing that I was glad is the reduced number of learning area in JSS. Yes, from 14 to 9. I think that's a plus.
Yes.
Yes, that's a plus.
Why do you think it is a plus? What has been the experience when it comes to JSS in your school, when it comes to the number of subjects?
The teachers. At the beginning, we had a challenge with the number of teachers, because I was posted with 2 teachers. In fact, it was just one who could handle the 2 streams. It was a big challenge handling all the subjects, and depend with the area that she was supposed to cover. So we had to agree on how she's going to handle the learners. Thank God other teachers were brought on board, but still I like to congratulate my teachers, the primary teachers. They work hand in hand with the JSS teachers to make sure that learners are able to cover all the learning areas. Yes.
You have taught in an 844 system, and you have taught CBC. Can you tell me the transition between 844 and CBC? What was your experience?
The 844 system was all based on performance, competition. Who is best in what? Who can do what? Where will you go from here? But with CBC, I'm shocked and surprised as a person. I had learners who are very much reserved, but when it came to CBC, they're now open. I'm able to identify their talent. In fact, when it comes to learning areas like music, learners are very active. Creative art, learners are very active. When it comes to home science, learners are excellent. So it has shown that learners are good. In all areas, learners are good. CBC is a blessing to the country.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So you're saying some kids were actually reserved, but now they can express themselves.
Yes, very well.
Is it because they are doing what they want to do? Is it because they are doing what they are talented in? Or where has the expression come in? What
The
has caused that?
talent part.
Okay.
The talent part. The learner who was weak in maths, but he's very good in music.
Okay.
A learner who was very weak in science, but very good in handwork. They can weave, they can cook. Yes.
So tell me, if you're able to answer this question, how is a classroom set up in your school? How are the classes actually managed? How do you start the classroom basically for specific subjects? Maybe let's start with maybe home science, that one that you've really praised. How do you conduct the lessons?
Okay, with home science, when it's a practical lesson,
Yes.
we make sure that we make it a double lesson.
Yes.
We prepare the learners prior to the lesson. We give them guidance, like the whole of this week we are going to have a both the office and the parents, because with CBC there must be collaboration between the learners, the parents and the teachers. So we source for the materials that are necessary for the practicals, and then we call for assistant teachers
Yes.
to come. Excellent leader. Yes.
Wonderful. So, some of the challenges maybe you can highlight comes to managing JSS. You've talked about few teachers. Are there any other issues?
The other challenges was on furniture. When it started, we had to use the primary desk, and they're not used to that. We see with JSS we need to put them different. At least they have a locker and a seat. But thank God the government has done something. There was a special allocation for that. So hopefully, come next year, my learners will have lockers they'll have lockers that will meet their needs. Currently they're using the desk. That's the challenge. And the other challenge is rooms, because from the start we were a feeder school.
From the start, you're what?
A feeder school. Yes, I was not supposed to have JSS in my school, but because of the number, we were forced to have a JSS in the school. So we squeezed the few resources that we had around and created 2 rooms for JSS. So my worry is if we'll not have an extra structure for the other grade, because I've planned for grade 8. Grade 8 will be sorted.
Yes.
Okay, but what about if we move
To grade 9.
to grade 9?
Which is
That's
still
it.
domiciled in
Yes, yes, that's
Yeah.
a challenge. But with my able chairman,
Yes.
we have approached the CDF. We have a wonderful MP,
Yes.
Mohamed Ali. He's working on it. Hopefully, it will be considered. Maybe the beginning of next year, something will start in the school.
Wonderful. What is your final maybe recommendation or final message to the government as it attempts to improve the education reforms in this country?
I'm requesting the government to do a lot of training a lot of training to the teachers. Yes, on how best they can manage the JSS. They have done a retooling, but I think if the retooling could be done almost daily, on daily basis, then everything will be fine.
Starting immediately after this conference?
Yes, immediately after the conference, the heads of the institution should be taken for retooling, the teachers should be taken for retooling, the community.
Wonderful.
Yes, and in the schools we can also organize, we have a refresher course, or we have a course to the parents, because the parents are in a mix, to be honest. Our parents are in the mix. They're not aware of what exactly is happening. If we can organize for something, we call the parents, we talk to them, we educate them.
Yes.
Everything will be okay.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time, Madam Ali.
Thank you too.
It's been a great. You've graced us with your experience. You've graced us with your presence, and we're happy for that. Keep watching Edu Channel for this and many more interviews and more programming. I'm Zachary Karo.
Meeting and conference. This year we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary, commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
Well, indeed, we are now coming to the end of the 20th General AGM and Conference of Kepsha, marking their 20th birthday in existence. And today we've been talking about the theme, Rethinking Management in a Comprehensive School Framework. And of course, I have a very special guest with me, a friend, of course, and a person from Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, to talk about a very important book, that is the Working Party Report, some of the recommendations and the historical perspective that led to some of the recommendations that we are going to talk about today. And obviously these recommendations are meant or geared to improve the education reforms in this country. Karibu Mkubwa, and introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Patrick Andika. I work at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development as an assistant director in charge of consultancy and partnerships.
Yes.
And I'm happy to share with the Kenyans about the report of the Presidential Working Party on Educational Reform. The Presidential Working Party on Educational Reform was set up in order to provide views on how we could be able to transform education, training and research for sustainable development. And this was not the first educational reform working party, because since the independence we have had a number of parties that have been set up in order to provide suggestions on how we can be able to improve on the education system. At independence we had the Ominde Commission that gave us the national goals of education, and then introduced the first educational system in Kenya, the 763 education system. And thereafter in 1985, when we had the McKay report, they recommended that we could restructure our education system into the 844 system. Of course, they were set up in order to suggest on how Kenya could establish the second university. In between, a number of commissions were also formed, including the Kashadi Commission, and then we had the Odhiambo Commission in the year 2010 that suggested that as a country we needed a competency-based curriculum, and we see from there the institute and other bodies start working towards how as a country we can be able to develop a competency-based curriculum that will allow school to develop citizenship among others. But thereafter, like any other education system in the world, all education systems have to undergo change because education is supposed to serve the needs of the society. And as the needs of the society changes, you realize that a time reaches when there is need to review or reform the education system. And that's why when His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, came to power, education system so that we can be able to produce a Kenyan who is engaged, empowered, and ethical. And so this Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms in Kenya was set up, and it went down to get views from many stakeholders on how the education system could be improved. And that is how, out of the 6 months of working and collecting data from teachers, from boards of management, from parents, from the students, and also doing benchmarking in other countries that are offering an education system similar to ours, they come to make recommendations on what they think is the best way towards transforming education, training, and research for sustainable development in Kenya. And I just want to highlight some of the key areas where they gave very clear recommendations. Recommendation on curriculum implementation. Under curriculum implementation, the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform recommended that, number one, we need to have a comprehensive school system. Comprehensive in such a way that a child can transition from pre-primary one through through lower primary, upper primary to junior secondary within the same environment. And this recommendation of having a comprehensive school, a very important recommendation because it ensures that there can be smooth transition. Remember, many children find it very difficult, especially when they are moved from pre-primary, where they have been learning with a teacher who is very friendly, and then they go into a new environment. They cannot cope with a new teacher in primary one or grade one because they have been taken to a new environment. And that's why you will see many of the children crying. They want to run back home because they have been brought into a strange environment.
So we are assuming that these recommendations were based on the comments you got from...
Yes, these recommendations were based on what Kenyans themselves said.
Okay.
That transition would be easier if children could transition from pre-primary to primary, lower primary, upper primary, and even junior secondary within the same environment. Within the same compound, for example.
Yes, yes.
And that is why all the schools now, primary schools, will be expected to have a junior secondary so that there is smooth transition from pre-primary through lower primary, upper primary to junior secondary. At that time, by the time the children are finishing the junior secondary, they are around 15 years. They can now be able, even if they were selected to go to a school that is offering STEM, and therefore is not closer to where they have been learning. They are gaining independence, they can now travel and join another school. So that was one of the major recommendations, establishment of a comprehensive school, and that is why the theme of this conference, the issue of transforming and rethinking educational management under a comprehensive school system, because it is now going to be the challenge that school leaders are going to face, because they must be able to run the entire comprehensive school system. Number two, the Presidential Working Party, out of studying and getting views from people about the learning areas, recommended that KICD should be able to relook at the learning areas in order to reduce overlaps and overloads and redundancies within the subjects, so that at least for pre-primary 2, the subjects should not be more than 5. For pre-primary 1 and 2, not more than 5 learning areas. For lower primary, not more than 7 learning areas. For upper primary, not more than 8 learning areas. And for junior secondary, not more than 9 learning areas. And because of that, that is why the institute now is in the process of relooking at the curriculum to be able to see which learning areas can be integrated. And that is why so far as the integration is concerned, there are learning areas, for example, at junior secondary, that learners are going to learn as one learning area, even if there are 2 learning areas. Like now, pre-technical being taught alongside business studies, to be called technical and business studies. Yes, so that learning can still take place, because in real life, we don't lead a life where we are segmented it in terms of which subject at what time. So when there is an opportunity to integrate learning areas, it can still lead to holistic learning of a subject area. And this is not new, because we have countries, for example, in South Korea,
Yes.
where technology is studied alongside economics, called technology and economics. Even in the earlier education system, agriculture was done alongside home economics. Now we are saying agriculture will be integrated with home science. Yes.
My question is, now we are in November heading towards December.
Yes.
And we are heading towards grade 8.
Yes.
In just a month or 1.5 months.
Yes.
How possible are teachers going to be prepared for the amalgamation or combination of these learning areas into 9?
Yes.
Are they well prepared for that? Or what is the initiatives being done to make sure that they are prepared?
First of all, the bigger initiative is to ensure that these learning areas, once they have been integrated, curriculum designs are developed and instructional materials are also developed and brought to the reach of the teachers. Then there will be a conscious process of retooling the teachers, so that the teachers can be brought to speed to now appreciate that even if there are 2 learning areas in one, depending on their specialization, one teacher can teach some strands in a learning area, and after they are through, another teacher can be able to teach. And this is not new for this country. For example, in the earlier education system before 1985, what used to be called the A-level system,
Yes.
you would actually go to pursue a subject called geography, and you will be taught by 3 or 4 teachers. One teacher will be teaching physical geography, another one is teaching economic geography, another one is teaching you map reading and photography. So it would just be a question of reorienting or re-engineering the teachers. If we can have programs, for example, even online programs that the teacher can be able to access, when they are brought to book on the changes that have taken place and they are willing and ready, then they can be able to just deliver this content to the learner.
Wonderful.
But going forward, we shall continue with the retooling the teachers just alongside the Teacher Service Commission and other stakeholders, as we have always done as an institute.
You've mentioned around 2 or 3 recommendations. Are there more recommendations? Or those are the key ones?
Those are the key ones as far as curriculum is concerned. Those are the key recommendations that the task force had put in place. But there are more recommendations that the task force, because the task force was looking at how to transform the whole of education and training and research for sustainable development. So we have recommendations that the task force, for example, made on teacher training. Issues around teacher training, they made recommendations, for example, lowering the entry behavior. Earlier we had said for a teacher to go and train for diploma in teacher education,
Yes.
they needed a C+.
Yes.
And also a C+ in the different learning areas.
Yes.
But now for this teacher training, a teacher will just require to have gotten at least a C, and then if they are going to train for diploma teacher education, then they require to have attained C+ in at least the learning areas or the subjects that they are going to train.
Why was the
in.
lowering necessary?
The lowering was very necessary because earlier when we set it at a C+, it meant, because C plus is also the entry behavior to join the university.
True.
So it meant our colleges were being denied learners because the same learners qualified to join the university. So if you are a parent and you have the option of choosing between a university and a teacher training college, probably every parent would choose a university as opposed to teacher training. And that's why many of the teacher training colleges have been short of students to teach. Many were actually going down very seriously.
I think it
and
was
so
a-
it was very necessary.
I think it was timely
Number
recommendations.
two, it was also an effort to think about there are other diploma courses that are being offered in the country. We have diploma in banking, we have diploma in human resource management, diplomas in engineering,
Yes.
diplomas in agriculture that are being offered in our technical training institutions and polytechnics. The minimum entry behavior is a C minus. So it means even we are still higher at teacher training when we demand that they should get a C to join teacher training colleges. Because the minimum entry for diplomas, most of them is actually a C minus. Yes.
That's a good and timely recommendation. I
Yes.
think we have exhausted on the key recommendations. So, or you have any more
There,
to
there,
say?
there are more recommendations, especially recommendations on the issue of quality assurance and standards, trying to harmonize the quality assurance and standards function of the Teacher Service Commission and that one of the ministry, so that there are no conflicts in schools as far as who has the mandate to do the quality assurance. And that will also need some effort, and it will need some bit of reconciliation between the Ministry of Education and the Teacher Service Commission to agree. There were other recommendations on how to promote technical and vocational education. There are recommendations on university education. There are recommendations on general governance of education sector. There are recommendations on financing of education and higher education in this country.
So it's
there
quite
are
a detailed-
recommendations on how to change the laws so that even as we move forward with educational reform, it is within the legal framework that is expected of the country. So they gave a wide array of recommendations that one can be able to prosecute one after the other, just for the benefits of Kenyans, so that the moment we understand, because it gives us strength, even as teachers, when you know why are the subjects being merged, that they are being merged because they are being integrated because there was a recommendation that we need to reduce the learning areas.
Wonderful. So I think we are going to finalize on that, on
Yes.
the recommendations.
Yes.
What is your wish, or what is your ideal educational system for this country? Just tell me in a
An
brief moment.
ideal education system for the country is an education system that meets the needs of the citizens of the country.
And have we actually...
Once we go out there, we carry out a training needs assessment, we get to understand where we want to take this country in the next 10, 20 years. Then we package an education system that when our trainees are coming out of the education system, they can be able to solve the problems of the society, they can fit in the society, they can find something to do.
And you can actually confidently say
And
that
I can confidently say this is what the competency-based curriculum
is
aims
actually...
at.
Thank you so
very
much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That is Patrick Andika
Thank
here at KICD, and in fact we are Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center in Mombasa, and finalizing this interviews that we started on Monday. I'd like to say thank you and continue watching Edu Channel for this and many more programs. I am Zachary Kago. God bless you.
As we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
To our esteemed delegates, on behalf of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with immense pleasure and anticipation that I extend my heartfelt invitation to all of you to the 20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary, commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.